Hey there, YouTubers. Me again. This is back to hot rods. Woo! Finally, right? Everything from chainsaws to hot water heaters to I even got some home improvement stuff coming up because my bathroom floor decided to rot away underneath the toilet. But that's not done yet. Anyway, my wife's fixing that up now. That's pretty cool. But anyway, if you can see behind me, there's a couple of engines. Okay? 283 Chevrolet, 350 Chevrolet out of a Corvette. Okay? This one's got that crossfire fuel infection, which if you've watched the channel long enough, you'll realize it has been yanked off of my other Corvette because it sucked. Turned out it was just the return line that was the problem. And if you know anything about sports cars, most sports cars have a little bowl of some sort that the return line feeds. And that way when you're cornering hard, if the fuel all sloshes to one side, it stays in that little bowl and your fuel won't go dry. When your fuel level gets below that bowl, the only thing feeding it is the return line. And that just doesn't work if the return line is clogged at all. So I could have, and still may, if I have any more trouble with it, just eliminated that bowl or just cut a slot in it. Okay, you can't obviously use electric tools inside of the gas tank, so you would have to do it by hand, but it's plastic, so I could probably cut it with a knife. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a little bit of tidbit of knowledge for sports cars. Porsches have it. Corvettes have it. I'm sure, my BMW actually has a little sump about yay big in the tank itself. It doesn't have a bowl. It just has a lower spot in the tank that is about 4 inches deep. And that makes more sense to me, but whatever. Anyway, Europeans, they've been doing crazy stuff for years. Anyhow, we're back to these. This is the engine we're going to use. We're going to use the fuel-infected 350. I think the 283 is rated like 175. It's a 1966, I believe. It's rated at about 170, 180 horsepower. This one's an 84. It ain't rated a whole lot higher, but it's probably close to 50 or to 80 horsepower higher than for 283. But I think it's still only like 265 or some craziness. It's not a whole lot of horsey power. And I was originally going to feed nitrous to it to gain 100 actually horses. But when you finally see what it's going to go into, I don't know that we're going to need all that. Because I don't know if the car is going to handle that. Okay? Now I do have some surprises, some exotica, if you will. It's going to be different. It ain't going to be a regular build. I don't know how smart it is, but it'll be cool. And really this car that we're talking about is all about cool factor anyway. It could be very fast, but I've got fast cars. I've got my big block Corvette, which is sitting above my head right now. And I've got my supercharged Javelin, which is not finished. We're going to start on that very soon. After this project, that's next. Okay? Hopefully, perfectly. So anyhow, back to this. The only reason this one's sitting here is I dug them out of the old pile of engines I have over here. Is this. I don't know if you can see that, but it is a flywheel. Because the car we're putting it in has a 4-speed. It's got a Borg-Warner Super T10 in it, which some of you that have been watching the channel might know of these hints. The Borg-Warner, these are all hints of what this is going to about transpire, shall we say. But, as you can see, this engine, I've been scalping parts off it. Okay? Distributor's kind of scary looking. There's no what do you call it? Brain went. No module in here. No module. This is off. Cap is gone. So we're going to have to put all that back together. I've got to take this flywheel off of this engine and put it on this engine, both of these, this has to come off of the stand because I can't get to the flywheel bolts on the stand. So I'm going to take this off of here. And I'm just discussing, so in case you think this sounds boring, you shut it off now, right? Don't do that. I promise it's going to get good. This is what our plan is for this weekend. Okay, hopefully this video. The very least, try that in English. The very least, I want to make that run. Okay? I can put it on the stand, throw a starter in it, get my distributor back together, throw some wires, which I think the wires are still there. Yeah, they are. Throw a little bit of gasoline down its neck and probably get it to fire. Okay? But I'm going to put it on the stand. I actually going to build a motor run stand. I don't know if I'm going to do that in this video or not. We'll see what happens. But I have my ideas for how I'm going to get this to fire, but there's a whole lot of work that's got to be done to this engine before I do all that. I just want to make sure it's going to fire. Make sure it's not going to have a rod knock. I'm going to run it for just a minute or so, maybe 2, because I don't have a radiator. But then I'm going to build an engine run stand, I believe. This is the plan. And then let it run for a little while. I want to make sure it's not going to smoke. It's not going to knock. It's not going to cause any problems. Supposedly, it's a good engine. We're going to yank that fuel infection off of there once it fires. Again, I'm not going to go through all this work if it doesn't fire. So get rid of the fuel infection. I've got a manifold and some valve covers that are going to totally change the appearance of this engine and hopefully the performance of it a little bit too. I was going to put nitrous on a single plate, and then things transpired, people came by, did a lot of trading, things happened, and I just, cool. I thought it was cool. And sometimes cool is not always brilliant, but I thought it was cool. So this is all the reasons why you need to watch this video, because cool. You got to see, it's going to be several videos, but you're going to enjoy it. And most of the next couple of videos, this one and the next couple, are going to be the coolness part of it. And then once we install it, run it, that's a whole different story. But, so here's the plan for right now. Get this engine down, take the flywheel off, get that flywheel off, well, flex plate, be proper, politically correct and all. This flywheel put on that engine. Put that engine on this stand. Take this stand and hook a cherry picker, which is right here. You can see just the end of it. Alright. Put a cherry picker on it. Hold it from the top because I'm afraid it's going to roll. These engines like the vroom, 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 and I'm not going to rev it much anyway. I'm just going to bottle feed it, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm going to hold it with the cherry picker and the engine stand just in case it decides to, And make sure she fires. Run it for 15, 20, 30 seconds off of a bottle. Make sure everything seems good. Should be. I was told when I bought the car, this was in, it was a running engine. He told me specifically that he bought the car for this engine. So it should be a good one. Yeah. When's the last time you heard that? I bought a satellite. The guy says, I will bet my bottom dollar that this engine will start and run. And it was locked up tighter than Alcatraz. So, anyway, it maybe ran that good when he parked it, but I don't know, it wasn't no more. So anyway, that's the plan. If this thing fires, we're going to yank the intake. We're going to put gaskets in it because if you all look back, and again, this is the car. I can't tell you what it is because, what good is it if it's no surprise? But the same car that this is going into, I put the engine in assuming it was good because somebody told me it was. And it smoked and it leaked out the rear main like no tomorrow. Okay? So it was leaking like Niagara Falls even. I mean, you could leave a trail going down the road. Go through 2 courts going to town, which is 10 miles away. So, we're going to run it. We're going to put gaskets in it. We're going to change the intake. I do have some surprises coming other than the intake, which I'm not sure is going to work, but if I can make it work, the cool factor is going to be like through the roof. So, hopefully that my whole plan comes together. If not, The cool factor will have to go on a different engine. And I've got plans for that too. I got a sale. Gotta love sales. It's Black Friday right now, right? Yeah, it's Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving? Happy Thanksgiving, people, by the way. And I just happened. You ever do that? I'm not usually very lucky, but I just happened to go on the internet and click on something that I had put in my favorites about probably a year ago. Because I knew I had this plan in mind a long time ago. And I just clicked on it, and it was less than half price. I think it was normally $159 plus shipping. And they had a sale for $77 and free shipping. I was like, well, holy Moses and Aaron. So I bought two. Bought two sets. So you will see, again, intrigue. You got to watch the whole video. You know what I mean? I'll find out. Actually, they haven't come in yet, so we got a lot to do today. They might, they won't be in by the end of this weekend, so that'll be a reveal later. So anyway, hang out with me today. We're going to get this engine running, hopefully, change out the flywheel and flex plate, put this engine on a roller so we can just tuck it away for better. If anybody needs a 283, I got one. It's supposedly a good running engine too. It's been sitting in the shop for probably 5 or 6 years on this stand covered up in a bag. I got it out of the bag right now, but to make it run, we got to take, put a distributor in it, which is no big deal on a Chevrolet. And valve covers, might need gaskets. It's a 2-barrel 283, came out of a 66 Impala, I believe. The guy yanked it when it only had, he said it didn't, like 60,000 miles, 80,000 miles, very few miles on it. And he yanked it and put it in a 57 Chevy. Was not happy with the performance. I mean, 57 Chevy weighs 9,000 pounds, right? Actually, I think they're about 7. And, this thing's doesn't have a ton of horsepower. Good running engines forever. I mean, they will run forever, but just not enough power for him, so he yanked it again, sat on a stand in his garage probably for 5 or 10 years. So if anybody needs a low mileage, supposedly good running, and we can fire it up if you want to hear it run. And so if you need an 383, get in touch with me. Anyhow, like I said, I think it's a 66, pretty sure. Anyhow, it's cold out, in case you didn't notice, the guard. Let's quit talking now, because I tend to be long-winded. Did you notice? Yeah. Let's get started. took a break and got a little bit of something to fill my belly, and it's cold back out here again. I guess I got warmed up doing what I was doing. But I'm going to go ahead and mount the starter and see if this old girl will turn over with the starter. That'll be my start. And we're going to go from there. Come on, girl. I thought it would be easier to do it this way. Yeah, it should be. I'm not really sure I like that bolt the way it is, but I learned today that the Chevrolet starters, if the bolts are straight across, it's for the smaller flywheel, and if they're staggered, it's further away. It brings the starter further away from the flywheel. I had a bit of a fiasco putting the engine stand on it because the bolts were hitting the flywheel because these were too short, so I had to space them out with some big nuts, and I actually broke one of the bolts going in up in here, which I'm debating whether or not I'm going to remove that, since this is not going to be a high horsepower engine, or whether I'm just going to live with one less bolt in my transmission. We'll play that by ear, see how ambitious I feel. If I feel like drilling that one out, I'll probably drill it, because it's just how I am. But let's get this starter in here and see if we can at least get this engine to turn over. I've never known this. Gun's not super powerful. I've never known it to break anything. It must have been a cheap bolt. But we're going to run this up in there. Need an extension. Jeepers crow. Nothing ever goes as planned, you know what I mean? Alright, we got the starter mounted up. Have you ever seen these things? I mean, they don't look like much, right? But I was looking at the stats, these are putting out more power than the big jump boxes. And I'm like, for the price, big jump boxes were $200-300. This was $50. So I said, well, for $50 I'm going to try it. So far, I've been able to jump start my big diesel. I've been able to jump start several other cars. I'm trying to think of which ones. I think the Cadillac one time. I think this big block Corvette once, because the battery was dead. So I'm a believer. I've still got the cherry picker hooked up just in case things go awry. I'm going to hook these up to, this has to go to a ground. Well, no, sorry, my bad. This has to go to a ground, which we're going to go right here. And then this has to go here. And I'm going to need my spectacles because I think, yeah, it's on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to have to get something to go between the two. And we'll plug this in and see if it'll turn this thing over. Now, I don't have anywhere to set this, so we're going to, I hooked up the one-man starter button here. And now this has gloves. This has a little rubber doorway. I don't really know why, to protect the where you plug it in at. Now hopefully this thing won't go all cattywampus on me once I start turning it over. But here we go. Ready? Okay. Well, oh wait. I didn't turn it on. Duh. How the heck is it working at all? Alright, let's try that. Give it a second. Well, it's turning over, but not very fast. And this thing is now at 76%. So let's get an actual battery and hook it up and see what we can do. Still got my starter button hooked up. But it actually turned the engine over. This little bitty thing turned the engine over slowly. which is pretty impressive in my opinion. Ooh, she got hot though. Pretty sure it's not designed to do that. It's just designed to aid your battery. But it did turn that engine over. Pretty impressive. Alright, I've got another battery, and we're just going to go ahead and, let's see, that's the side terminal, yay. Wait, I got a delivery. I've got new, well, not new, but a used. Not even sure if this one's good. I had one laying around that I know is good, but I can't find it. Story of my life. So, I've got the 2 screws here. This one had a plate that goes over the top of it. Don't ask me why. So this plugs into these. Well, at least it's supposed to plug into these. Well, this is the wrong one. Crap. Goes like this. Not sure what goes on here. This goes to the computers, which we don't need. I believe this goes to these 2. If I can get it to hook up, it does not. Great, never mind. Scratch that. This is the wrong one. I got to find that other one. For you northwest or just northern people, it's probably not very cold out here today. But for me, it feels cold. It is about, let's put it this way, there's ice on the ground. I'm guessing it's like 29-ish degrees out, which to me is god-awful cold. But I know I've got at least one subscriber that I know of that he lives in Colorado. In fact, he invited me to go help chop wood from my last video. It's like, thank you, appreciate it, but no thank you. And these have to go in order, I think, because it's got a little doohickey right here that kind of catches the back of it, but yeah, we can make it work. See, it kind of, I don't know if you can see that, but it catches, holds the back in. Most of this isn't going to be used. This is going into nowhere because there's no computer in this car that it's going into. But it will still work. And this distributor is not the one that's staying in. This whole intake is going bye-bye. But I need to test this engine somehow, some way. And there is something missing. Oh crap, I stole that too. Man, I stole everything. Alright, well let's get this in here. Goes this way. Which I can't get in because the spinny thingy is in the way. There we go. Not really sure what this metal cover does. Anybody that might know that, you let me know why they put a metal cover on this, just so you can cause things to arc out, I'm guessing. But I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down in there. If you notice, I didn't put any of that heat cream on here. One, because this distributor is not staying. And 2, because there was already a little bit of residue there, and I'm just letting it be. Now, before I put all this back together for permanent like, I will put some of that, but we are literally testing right now. Alright, here is the rest of that. And this is a ground, this is a ground. This has to go out because it's going to the distributor cap. Let me see if I can remember how this all goes. La 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 la. You would think it would go, so that these are covered, but no, it goes like this. These slide onto here. Of course, they're not cooperating. There we go. So slide those on. Uh-oh, something broke, it looks like. No, maybe not. I don't know. I better get a light. It looks like something broke in there. Yep, I wasn't crazy. Little bitty piece of plastic broke off in there. Golly, plastic, 2 pieces of plastic. And not even necessary, really. It's just total doofusy. Is that a word, doofusy? I'm thinking so. There we go. Now I got to come up with a very tiny screw, which I happen to know where it is, but getting that little tiny screw in there without dropping it inside the distributor. That's going to be the fun part. If you get a screwdriver that has a magnetic tip, that will help. Wait a minute, that's not even, is it? Yep. Come on, baby, you can do it. Here we go. All right. Make sure you tighten it enough to strip it out. Nope, just kidding. Don't do that. I'm pretty sure something's supposed to cover this, but I'm thinking it's most likely broken. But we're good. Everything's good on this. We got to put a cap on it. Let's put the rotor, because our next step is going to be hook up a battery. Come on, baby. Where are you? There we go. Is hook up a battery. And this is, man, this is literally going to fire only because these throttle bodies are totally fazoo. You know, I've had this tool. It's like a cheap job lot kind of. I don't even know job lot exists. I guess it does. I don't know. But anyway, I bought this like 100 years ago. Probably at least 30 or 40 years ago. And it has been a intricate part of my toolbox for many, many years. Weird, right? I've even had to grind the end because it got all wore out. Just for, you know, just for kicks and giggles while you're listening to me talk. Okay, now, this distributor never left this engine. I just stole parts out of it. So what we're going to have to do is hook up a battery and turn it over. Take number one plug out. Turn it over till number one blows my finger off. Not blows it off, like pff, gone. Ah! No, not that. But, you know, goes, pff, you know. So it's on the compression stroke. And we'll check our harmony balancer. Our harmony balancer, right? It should be in harmony. All right, harmonic. I know, you guys. I'm just messing with you. Jeez, wheeze. Some of you are so hard. All right, and then we're just going to check, make sure the harmonic balancer is where it needs to be, to double check that we are on number one cylinder. Why is this? Man, that is locked up tight. Golly, Edith. All right, so let's pull number one. You know how you tell number one engines are uneven? Okay, if you look. Oh well, I got a close-up going on here. So let me refocus the camera. It's going to be kind of hard to tell because this engine's got so much caca over here. This is all going bye-bye. I got to change the water pump because I believe this one, look, it works though, because this one works backwards. Okay, well, no, it doesn't. It's pumping. But I'm pretty sure this one's supposed to turn this way, and I think all of them turn that way. So maybe I don't have to change it. We might be able to leave this one because I'm doing that, and it's pushing water out over here. Or is it supposed to? Let me think. Yeah, no, that's correct. Okay, I don't have to take that one out. Anyway, back to number one cylinder. If you look at an engine, one cylinder head is further forward. This one's got caca, so it looks, you can't really tell, but this one's further back than this one. This one's further forward, okay, because the engine's not perfectly a V. It's kind of like a cattywampus V. The one that is furthest forward is always going to be number one. Now, I don't know about Ford because Ford's firing order is different. Like on a Chevy, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On a Ford, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. But I still think number one is always going to be the one forward. At least on Chevrolets and Mopars, your furthest forward is going to be number one. So this is the plug we're going to take out. Now, I never use pneumatics to pull a spark plug because bad things can happen. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this one out. We got the ratchet going the wrong way. It's got big plugs? There's no way. No, it's just got a stiff rubber on it. You want the ones with rubber inside too, because it protects the porcelain on the plug while you're taking it out. Let's see what this, oh, she didn't look too bad. Kind of cocoa brownish. Well, maybe not. Let's see, put my glasses on. Not too bad, a little sooty. But no, she's pretty decent. Little sooty, probably a little bit too rich. It was running probably having issues like mine was. Same engine that's in my Corvette. But not too bad. I'm not too sad about that. It's probably going to run richer with what we're doing with it. But I have to take... Oh, I got to hook up a battery. Duh. Alright, I've got a battery rigged up. Got to find the hole now. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, ready? Okay. Battery's not exactly turn it over fast. I probably should have checked to see if there was oil in it. Would have been a good idea. Let's see. Oh yeah, oh, clean oil too. Okay. So we're good there. That battery's not too healthy, but we've got that jumper box with the battery on there. We should be golden. That should be top dead center. Let's look at that. Oh, look at that. Can you see that? I might have to adjust the camera. But look at, can you see that? Yeah, oh yeah. Top dead. There's the line. There's top dead center. Can't get much closer than that. Alright, so let's go look at the distributor and see where exactly number one is. And start putting this thing together and so we can fire it up. Not overly thrilled with top dead center being here, but it is what it is. I'm going to make a mark on the distributor where it needs to be pointing, and I'm also going to make a mark on the block so that I can see where it needs to be. Clean that off a little bit. Now this is black. I'm going to go fetch me a paint stick. I'm just going to put a little white mark to line up with my black mark. I'm just going to put it right here. Well, I put the white mark, covered up the black mark, but that's okay. I've got a mark there. It's pointing directly at it on the engine. And I'll go ahead and redo my black mark because I put the white over it and it mushed it up. But everything should be good here. We can hook up our wires, which are already sitting right here. Put my spark plug back in. But it's getting dark. My wife is trying to finish up the bathroom floor, and she needs my help. So I'm going to have to wrap this up, and I'll see you tomorrow. I have to take the cover off of this particular type of cap. Now, if I remember correctly, it's always bad to use your memory, but if I remember correctly, the fire in order should be 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. So here's 1. Alright, so 1 and then 8. Which is right here. I'll trace this one right here. So 1, 8. I love HEIs. Unfortunately, they don't fit behind every manifold, but they seem to fit behind this one. Okay, yay. Okay, so 1, 8, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. It's the second one in on this side, which is right here. Before I do this and get all my, golly, Sergeant Carter, I've got these battery cables that I used yesterday kind of in the way, so we're going to put them down here so that they don't cause any more, we don't get tangled up in them, if you know what I mean. Alright, come on here. Man, that's crazy. It's all tangled up like in a screwdriver. How's that even happen? Alright, put you out of the way, put you out of the way, because I'm going to need you again. Okay, where were we? 3, right? So here's 3 right here. Now I like to run all my stuff on the top of the manifold. I don't like it hitting the exhaust. So that's just me. So this is 3. So it's going to go up here. It's actually got a loom, broken, but a loom. And 3 is going to go here. There we go. You can feel them snap in. I love HEIs. I just do. All right. So 1, 8, 4. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm thinking 3. It's 4. It's 1, 8. Just lost it. Yeah, it's 1, 8, 4. So why am I 1, 2? So why am I on 3? Oh, I already put 4. No, I didn't. What the heck? Losing my mind. Excuse me. So 4 is right here. Nope. Where is it going? Oh, here it is. Right here. Let's just pull all these out of here and let them hang, because this is just getting stupid. Alright. Get this out of the way. Alright, back to 4. Golly, Sergeant Carter. Alright, 4. So 1, 8, 4. There we go. Now 3. 3. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6. So it's 2, 4, 6. And right here. This one. All right. So. All right, 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. So 5, 1, 3, 5. I did say I was going to pull all these out and let them hang, didn't I? So 5 is right here. That one's got a cut in it, so it's just don't grab it like this when it's got a cut like that, because you'll get a little waking up. So 5, 7 is right next to 5, and then 2. This is 2. No, 2 is the first one. What am I doing? 2 is the first one. Okay. Alright. Losing my mind. It's early. It's cold. I'm allowed to be stupid this morning. Alright. Let's put these in. This cap's kind of neat. It's a little high. I don't know if we're going to be able to use it. But these 4 bolts actually hold the coil down as well. Especially this one's important because it grounds it. I'm not really sure. It looks cool, but I don't think it does anything. But it is what it is. We just snug it down. I've got the tack wire hooked up because, you know, since we're going to fire this up for about 5 seconds, it's important to have your tack hooked up. Not. But anyway, we got this on here. Somebody put a mark here. So whatever engine this was in previously, number 1 was over here. Alright, now this bolt is here, wanting to fall into the flywheel once it starts. So we're going to remove it. Anything else daring gravity over here? One over here, it's not really defying gravity, but we're going to move it anyway. Get rid of some of this crap on top of the engine. Have my cherry picker set up so that it won't, if it flips off the stand, the cherry picker should hopefully still hold on to it. It's just taking precautions. Like I said, it's not going to run long if it runs at all, because there's vacuum leaks everywhere. And the throttle bodies are totally stuck. In fact, this one's got a bunch of dirt in it. Crap, I need to probably blow that out of there. No, it should be partially open too. Yeah, let me get that out of there before I do anything. Alrighty, dirt removed. I'm going to see if I can get these throttle bodies to close. They really don't want to budge. Let's try a hammer. This is recommended tool of the trade. If it don't work, make it work, you know. It's closing. Sort of, kind of a little bit, but not really. And closed a little bit. Alright. Don't care about these throttle bodies. I mean, I could get them to work, I'm sure. We just want to hear this thing fire. So, going to take my little wire I got rigged up here. It's an alligator clip, and it is going to the distributor for the hot side. We are going to hook it to some power here. Then we're going to throw some fuel down the throttle bodies. And then we're going to see if we can get it to fire. Boy, I'm just turning it over is making this engine jump. I don't know if this is necessarily a good idea. It torques on me. Maybe I should build an engine run stand. I don't know. You can tell it's got some serious compression because it's rocking just doing what it's doing. So. Wow. I mean, I got 9,622 vacuum leaks. And it still sounds like it wants to run. It's getting spark. Sounds like it's getting spark. Let's put a spark tester on there. Keep an eye on this. Put my power back up. Let's just see if it's sparking. It's not. Okay, well that explains a lot. Alright. So is it because of my coil? Is it because of my power? I'm not getting power. Let's check on all that. I wasn't connected to the distributor properly, but I've got power now. Now I'm scared. It's probably going to fire and end up on the floor somewhere. I suppose I can just pull this wire if it gets too crazy. Woo! sounds like I might be 180 out. I don't see how. We did the whole finger blowhard thing. Here we go. It's actually wanting to go that way now. So. Definitely farting. At least out of one bank. It's not firing out of this one. Okay. It runs. Woo! Actually, it didn't. It freaked me out a little bit. But I think we're just going to let it run for a minute. It didn't seem to want to come off the stand at all. I should have just let it run. I got scared. Because it is sitting way up in the air, but it didn't seem to. It was revving pretty high. That's because the throttles are wide open. Well, not wide open, but they're open quite a bit. Woo! Fire! Battery's starting to get a little worm. How's the cables? They're fine. Oh, was you guys hand steam when I grabbed it? How funny is that? Put the jumper on it. Should take the ignition off momentarily. That sounded good though. I'm pretty excited. It fired. Put the jumper on it. It's saying 0%. Oh, there it was 100%. I was going to say it was 0% at first. All right, let's try this one more time. We heard it fire. I know it runs, so we're going to go ahead and do all the other stuff we got to do to it. I just wanted to hear it again. Just for fun. I was a little scared because it felt like it was going to come off and go crazy, but oh, maybe I should hook up the ignition. Duh. There we go. Stupidity's running thick this morning. Final run before we start ripping into this baby. Oh yeah! That's a win. How many of y'all had doubts if this thing would run in this condition? I mean, these stuck throttle bodies, vacuum leaks everywhere, distributor was all apart. She was looking pretty rough. So how many of you really thought it wouldn't run? See, you guys a couple of honest people, right? I had my doubts too because I've had lots of people say, it was a running engine, ran good. And you know what? It didn't. In this case, it seems like he told the truth. He bought the car just for this engine and I see why it runs. It seems to run quite well. I mean, it fired up in this condition. It still ran pretty decent. So I'm pretty happy with it. Now, learning from past experience, the next video, we're going to do some doctoring on this engine. It doesn't appear to have a rear main leak, and the valve covers don't appear to be leaking all down the side of the engine. But they'll probably do that once I get it in and running because it's been sitting, right, drying out all the gaskets. So the next video we're going to go ahead and change the intake out. We're going to change valve cover gaskets, put a rear main seal in it, put a new oil pan gasket, just to avoid problems. Now I'm iffy about whether or not I want to put this distributor back in because I've got a brand new one. But this one works. I know it works, right? So do I really want to, do I really want to mess with it? I don't know. But we're going to have to make some marks, you know, like line, put a mark in line with this hole here, so we can take the distributor out, put it back in the same spot, all yada, yada, yada. But let's see where the rotor's pointing to, right this way, because I don't plan on turning the engine over from here. Otherwise, we'll have to do the whole thing over. But anyway, that being said, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. For some of you that were non-believers, you were wrong. For those of you that were believers, woo! Good old Chevrolet, right? Most dependable engine in the world, probably these small block Chevys. But it's kind of cold out here. I was moving around and got warm and got no coat. But now, it's getting a little chilly. And the wife wants to do a little bit of shopping tonight. And we've had a long weekend, so I reckon I better spend some time with the wife, right? But I've got all the new gaskets and everything. We're going to do this next video. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know why you haven't already. What's keeping you up? Go ahead, hit that button, please. Helps me out greatly if you subscribe. And of course, keep watching. You can hit the little bell thing, I think, and it tells you that you're when the next video comes out, so you can watch this entire build. Because this engine is going into a car. Imagine that. It's actually going to go into a car. Some of you that have been watching the channel for a while know the car that this is going into. And if you really paid attention, you might already know which car that is. But for those of you who are new or don't pay attention, you're going to have to wait to see just what car it's going into. And there's probably going to be several videos before it actually gets in the car. Maybe not. I don't know. But we got something special for this engine. I picked it up today, and that's going to be special for this engine. It's going to complicate things a little for me, and it's not the smartest decision I've ever made, but it's cool, and cool is what matters. Speaking of cool, anyway, please subscribe, hit the like button. See ya!